Hey, what's up, you guys? We are back with another video. My name is Gavin. Today we're going to be ranking all 31 Steven Spielberg films. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't include the other Tom Cruise R-rated movie and the Schindler's List, it's because currently see them, 13 years old. So without further ado, let's get into the ranking. I apologize, this is really overdue. It's 31 films is a lot, and I got a lot of the rankings planned. I got the CW shows. Ranking with the Flash season, that's going to take a while. I'm going to have to do 2010 Nolan's movies, and I got the 40 horror film ranking that's coming very soon. So I got a lot of stuff on my plate. So it's going to take, so it took me like forever to get this done. But we're finally going to get done, you guys. Let's get into the video. Coming in at the last place is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Do I have to say why this movie is bad? Enough said. Coming in 30 is Jurassic World, just an abomination, as well as these two. They're awful. They're both awful. I don't think there's almost any redeemable qualities with either of these films. I don't think there's a single thing I like about them. I just think this one's a little bit more well-made, whatever that's worth. Terrible CGI, terrible special effects, terrible acting, just a terrible movie. Enough said as well. Mine is a film no one really includes on the Steven Spielberg ranking, but I'm going to include it anyway. Something Evil. Another terrible movie. Steven Spielberg's a great director. And I know it seems like I'm crapping all over him right now, but I think he's my favorite director of all time. This is a piece of crap movie. The only thing that's good is the score with some tension here and there. But besides that, it's shot in a potato. It has bad sound quality, bad special effects, just a terrible movie as well. Enough said. Now, I don't think this movie sucks. I don't think it's just terrible. I think there's some good things about it. Robert Williams, he gives a good performance, I guess. There's some fun action sequences here and there, but man, is it just a mess of a movie. It goes from lighthearted stuff to killing a kid off right there, right then. There's some really bad special effects at times. It's not really fun to see grumpy Peter Pan in this movie. It just loses a lot of the magic that is in Peter Pan. And since I'm a Peter Pan purist, this movie really didn't make me mad. Now, coming in number 27 is 1941. A lot of people hate this movie, think it's just Now, this movie, it's garbage. It's a complete crap of a movie. But is it entertaining? Heck yes. That's why I gave it the edge over Hook. Because Hook's better made. But this movie, it's a lot more entertaining, so I gave it a little bit of step up. It's a terrible movie. Everyone that says it's bad, it's just weird, it's just bonkers. I agree with you. But I have a ton of fun with how bad it is. Like, the whole scene where he's, like, putting, like, this, like, the thing that's aiming the cannon at and, like, aiming at them, but yet the whole tank thing is just him tells I don't know why people don't find that funny. It's just hilarious for me. 26 is the BFG. Such a mediocre movie. This is the only one, this is probably the only one on this list that I'm very least likely to rewatch. So that's why it goes towards the bottom because of that. CGI, really, really good. Everything else kind of sucks. This is what Steven Spielberg does, which I don't think he's good at. Things happen and then things end, and I don't like when a movie does that because there's nothing pulling over, there's no payoff, there's nothing that really happens. It's just things happen, things end, and I'm not a fan of that. And the characters, they're There's some Dreamcatcher stuff that's interesting, but it's just not a movie I want to go back to. Number 25 is The Terminal. Now, this is probably the most forgettable Steven Spielberg movie on this list, by far. It is the most forgettable. The only thing that puts it above these other movies is Tom Hanks is amazing. Like, he's fantastic as this role about this, I think, Russian person, I don't know. But he's really good in the movie, but it's also just in a mall, so it's not that interesting. You don't really care about the relationships or anything like that, so it's just by far deserves to go towards the bottom because it's just the most forgettable movie on this. It's the most forgettable by far. 24 is Steven Spielberg's probably the most divisive movie he's ever had, and that is Ready Player One. Where do I start on this movie? It's not a piece of crap, but it is very, very mediocre. Just a movie I do not want to rewatch ever. Well, I wouldn't mind rewatching it. It's so mediocre. It replaces all these cool, apparently interesting episodes of the book. Haven't seen the book, probably never will. And it replaces it with dumb clues. There's way too many pop culture references. It's just not, no, it's not bad, but it's very mediocre. Generic business guy, some amazing special effects, but everything else kind of sucks. Number 23 is Always. Now, I actually like this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. I think there's some really, really good acting by our main leads. I thought they were pretty good. There's some good characters. It has a really good concept, but it's kind of boring. It's not all that, well, no, it's not extremely, it's really really boring. It really is. It's a movie that I don't want to rewatch. I don't think I ever will rewatch, but it is a movie I can't appreciate. Number 22 is Twilight Zone, the movie. Now, I'm only counting the kick the can one. I'm only counting that one. I think it has some really good themes about growing up and maturing and all that stuff, and about how older people want to get younger. And I think there's a really good performance by this person that can make people younger. I liked him. But it's just after they want to get younger, they instantly just want to grow back old again. Doesn't make any sense. Feels rushed, honestly. Probably because it's a short, but still, it's enjoyable. It's hard to really say on this list because it's basically a short. It's just a part of a movie, so it's really hard to rank it on this list. But number 22, that's where it's staying. One is The Adventures of Tintin. All these here on out, I like. I really do like this movie. I think that there's some really, really good special effects. I like the concept. I think there's some decent voice acting. But the characters, they're not all that interesting. You don't really engage with the characters all that much. You're not really intrigued by them. So, it's a movie I like, but I don't love like a lot of people. Number 20 is Indiana Jones 2, The Temple of Doom. Now, this is a movie that... it's a good movie. It's a good sequel to the original. It has some really good action. It has a good premise. I think that I really enjoy the little kid in this movie. I like the other pops. I think she's like a singer or something. I don't know. I don't really care. She's fine. She's a little annoying, but you like her for the most part. It's a movie I like, but I don't love. And you will see how much I love the first and third Indiana Jones movies. Much higher on this list. So yeah, it's just a good movie. Enough said. It's Steven Spielberg's first theatrically released film, The Sugarland Express. This is a movie I really like. I think that there's some really good acting. I think there's some really good characters you buy that they want to help their son out. I think that I really enjoy that in the film. I think that there's some there's really good acting. It's a cool premise. The ending is really messed up. It's just one of the darkest Steven Spielberg endings you'll probably ever see in a movie. But I think the issue with this film is that you can tell that he's an amateur director. You can very much tell that in this film. And you can tell that there's amateur screenwriting in this film, bad writing in this movie. Because there's a scene where trying to break out of prison. It's like, what the heck? That's so easy. That's not how that works. No, stop doing that. Like, that I didn't like. And the fact that these are the worst cops ever. They're not even trying for, like, half the time to get their police officer back and trying to capture these people. It's just stuff like that I'm just like, no. But it's a really good movie. It's just there's a lot of issues, and you can tell that this was his first theatrically released film. Number 18 is the 2005 film The War of the Worlds. Now, this is a movie I really, really like. I think there's some amazing I think there's some really great acting in here, especially by like the blonde-haired girl. She's probably the best part in this movie. She's supposed to play this girl that has anxiety, and you can tell she has anxiety throughout it because there's scenes where she's just like panicking, and it's just. She does it flawlessly. Like, she's amazing in this movie. I think the brother, he's really good. I think Tom Cruise, he's really, really good as well, playing a jerk as a dad. I think there's some great themes about family in here that's a little bit subtle. It's a little bit under the radar. It's not punching in your face about it. That's not... that was a lot better, but... It's just a movie I really do like, and I think you guys should watch this movie. It has some great stuff. There's some amazing themes in here. The issue is the special effects are pretty dated. You can tell it's 2005, but it's a movie I like nonetheless. Number 17 is Artificial Intelligence. This is a movie I really, really like. I think it's very underrated. I think his name's like Jewel or something like that. The actor that was in The Sixth Sense, the lead in The Sixth Sense, that kid. He's really good. I really think he's really, really good in this film. You can tell he plays his innocence so well. Like, he's great at it. I wish we saw more films. I know he's in a couple, but I wish he was in more movies. He could have been a great actor. Like, he could have been a legendary. He could have been Matthew McConaughey for all we know. But I think he does a great job. I think there's some good special effects at times. I think that the beginning, it feels like it's gonna be in this horror direction around where it's that animal that goes haywire. I just felt those vibes, and then it goes somewhere completely different that I didn't really expect at all. And that whole, like, that scene where he's, like, with his mother, so emotional that it just makes you tear up every time you think about it. It's just a really, really good movie. Almost a great movie for me. It's like a B+, but... It's just the special effects at times can be dated. Wasn't a fan of the Blue Fairy X, but besides that, it's a really, really good movie. I think you guys should check it out. It is War Horse. This is a movie that I really, really do like. I think it's not 100% my thing. But I like it. I think that there's some good. This whole journey that we get to see this horse on is great. I think it's a great way how we could see how, like, just the horse's perspective on things. That was interesting. It's just a movie I like. I have nothing much to say about it. I have a review on it just to go check that out. Number 15 is The Post. This is a movie I really, really like. I think that there's some really good acting, pretty much great acting. I think there's a really good payoff at the end that doesn't feel too over the top. I think it feels like The Office, a lot darker though. It feels more realistic than The Office. It's a movie I really, really like. It's just, it sort of feels like things happen, things end. And I'm just not a fan of that when it comes to pushing the story forward. It doesn't really do that in this film, but I still really like it. Number 14, let's rev those hate engines, yay. Number 14 is Empire of the Sun. This is a movie, I really, really do like it, but I think it's a bit overrated. I know. Here's where all of the Gen Z, this is where my dad and all the other Gen X people go and hate on me in the comments for this, but let me say some things. I really do like this movie. I think that Christian Bale gives a great performance. I think it has some strong themes about family and the whole thing with the war stuff. Love that. It's just, it goes a little bit too slow for me. I really like the movie. I just think it's a bit overrated. Number 13, here's another one that's going to get me in a lot of trouble, and that's Close to the Counters of the Third Kind. This is a movie that I like. It is a movie I really, really do like, and I think it is quite underrated. No one really talks about this movie. When they think of sci-fi, they just see Spielberg and sci-fi, they think of E.T., or they'll think of, I don't know what the heck else, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park? Yeah, that's definitely sort of sci-fi. But I really like this film. I like the main character's really great performance. I think that there's a really cool score, and pretty much all these movies have a really good score, but I think this one has a really, really good score. I think that the ending is just amazing. I think there's some really good special effects. Some are quite dated, but it's a movie I really, really like. Of this Bridge of Spies. Now, all the movies up here now I love. I think they're amazing. This one's a great film. I think Tom Hanks gives an amazing performance. I think there is some just great, just heartbreaking stuff in this film. I think that the character, like the prisoner character, I love him. It has a pretty a little bit of a messed up ending. It's just a movie I really love. Enough said. Number 11 is Lincoln. This is a movie that I really, really, really do like. I think it's the person who plays Lincoln. I always forget his name. Tell me in the comments below. But he's a fantastic performance. He's so great and amazing as his character. It shows like what Lincoln did to go through slavery in that amazing payoff at the end. Fantastic. Just an amazing film. That's really all I gotta say about the movie. It's great. Now, top 10. This is where my list gets really controversial. And my number 10 is The Color Purple. This is a movie I think is great. It's pretty much fantastic. I think that there's some great acting by our main lead. It's just amazing. It just like shows like what people had to go through in slavery. Lincoln's movie was like how is the payoff. This movie, it's sort of like in a little ways it's an adaptation of that, where it's like showing what people had to go through, like what happened with them, and how it can like sort of break people on the inside. And I thought that was just great. It's a fantastic movie. It has some great stuff. It's just there's a lot of other movies on here I like a lot more. Now, number 9. This is where people get mad at me. Number 9 is E.T. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic pretty much. I think special effects, they look great. You actually believe that these two actually have a connection and that they actually are talking to each other at times. Fantastic special effects, especially for its time. I think that there's a really great score by John Williams. It's just a fantastic score. The thing that's holding this movie back for me is that I never really bought, like, how they had this weird connection thing. How it was explained really didn't work for me. That's the only big issue I have with this film. Besides that, it's flawless. Number 8, I'm really going to lose subscribers from this. Amistad. Fantastic movie. So underrated. No one appreciates this movie. I think I'm, like, the only person that actually did a review on this film. I think it's amazing. I think Matthew McConaughey, great. I think the beginning of the movie, there's almost no dialogue. You barely understand their language, and you just understand it perfectly somehow. And just things like that are just fantastic. The whole scene was like, set us free, set us free. Such a fantastic, emotional scene. And that scene where they're finally free, payoff, just fantastic. I think it's an amazing movie, and I think no one appreciates it. But there's 7 movies I like a lot more. Number 7, this is where I got a lot more hate. It's Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Or just Raiders of the Lost Ark for every person out there. There's no Indiana Jones in the title. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. I think it has a great, great score. I think that the opening scene, memorable. It sticks with you so well. I think that Harrison Ford gives a really good, pretty much a great performance as Indiana Jones. I think that it's just like, they're actually really, really good. It's pretty much great. And the Indiana Jones character, he's great. But I think there's so many better movies on this list. They just kind of have to put it below the top 5. I'm sorry. This is Minority Report. This is a fantastic movie. I think it is great. I think Tom Cruise, really good performance. I think there's some really good, great action. Fantastic story. I think there's a really great twist at the end of the film. But there's a little bit of dated CGI, yada, yada, yada. I think it's still fantastic. It's just it just couldn't be my top. It's Jurassic Park. Amazing, fantastic movie. Not taking anything away with this. That amazing, fantastic John Williams score. I think that our leads are great. It shows like what people do in this type of situation. That amazing scene where they see the dinosaurs, fantastic. One of the best Steven Spielberg scenes. Probably the best one, actually. I think that amazing third act is just so small scale, but it just works so well. Just amazing special effects that just are groundbreaking even today. Just an amazing movie. Fantastic, amazing movie. I think it's way better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think that whole dynamic we get with Sean Connery and Harrison Ford, that whole father-son dynamic, fantastic stuff. I think there's some great action sequences, maybe the best in this entire franchise. I think their acting is great, their chemistry, amazing. I think that it's just a great movie overall. I think I think the girl who's like the Russian spy, German spy, it was sort of predictable, but at the same time it really wasn't, because you really thought she was going to be the Indiana Jones girl in this movie that was just getting saved by Indy, so it was a good twist. I really love this movie. Just 3 more movies I love a lot more. All 3 of these movies I love. I think all 3 of these movies are fantastic, pretty much flawless films, but I have to give it a number, and number 3 is Saving Private Ryan. I don't think a lot of you guys expected it to be this high in my list, but it's fantastic. I think that there's some really great action sequences. I think that whole scene with D-Day, it's so long and just brutal. It's just like, oh my, this is how awful it was back then. This is how terrible it was. I think there's some great acting. Vin Diesel's in this movie, which I did not know. It was like, Vin Diesel's in a great movie for once. Wow, that's a shocker. But he's barely in the movie, so it doesn't really matter. I think the cast is just amazing. You got Tom Hanks in there, you got Vin Diesel, I don't really know many other names. I'm not good with actor names, but it's just a great movie, and I think you guys should go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's fantastic, and yeah, it's an amazing movie. Both these movies I love, but there's one I like a little bit more than the other one. Coming in number 2 is Catch Me If You Can. Fantastic, amazing movie. Nothing I can take away from this film. It's just amazing, and there's so many just great scenes, just like the whole scene where like he's just trying to steal, I think Leonardo DiCaprio, amazing performance. I haven't seen him in a lot of films, but I love him in this film. I want to see him in more stuff. He's great. He's fantastic. He gives such an amazing performance, I think. Just like he plays this just amazing character that I guess in the movie they kind of reference him as a James Bond type character, which kind of is a James Bond type character. But you just love him. Tom Hanks, amazing performance, even though he's not on the screen for too long. A weird ending, but it works in a way. I like it. I like the ending. I think that it's just a great drama that just a great character. It's a fantastic drama. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of dramas, that's why I have it so high, but I just love this movie. 1 is the classic, what kicked off Steven Spielberg's career, is Jaws. Fantastic, amazing movie. Easily an A+. I think it's great. I think the shark special effects at times they were but for the most part they're fantastic. I think there's some amazing acting. I don't really know their names that well, but I love the character that they play. Brody, the guy that doesn't like I think his name's like Roy or something. Whatever the heck his name is, that guy, the patrol guy that doesn't like water. The scientist that who's just kind of this guy that really does love water and loves sharks. You got Quint, who's this shark fisherman that he's so charismatic in a way that you just love him. I think that the third act where he just shoots the shark and just beats it, destroys it, it's just an amazing scene. I think maybe one of the best Steven Spielberg films. It's just an amazing scene, amazing movie. Better see it if you haven't. It's fantastic. So yeah, you guys, that's the video. Tell me your Steven Spielberg rating in the comments below if you are up for the task, or just tell me your top 10 or your top 5. That works too. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in another video. I got my Nolan ranking that's working. I got my CW show ranking with The Flash. I got my 40 horror film ranking. I'm going to try to get my Nolan ranking. I'm going to do like I think I'm gonna rank the 2010 Nolan films. I think I might include Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, obviously. But I think I'm gonna try to watch Inception. Haven't seen that film yet. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.